I love pharmacists because you're so polite that you'll actually quiet down. If it was a meeting full of chemists, I'd be having to shout to get you to let us get started. Um, Good day, everybody. I'm Kip Guy. I'm the dean at Kentucky, and I wanted to welcome you to the Paul Parker Award lecture and lunch. So, welcome. I hope you're enjoying the meeting. I hope you're enjoying New Orleans. For those of you who don't know, I'm from reasonably close to here, so I think of this as the big city that I really enjoy. And if you haven't ventured out of the convention district, please do so. This is a wonderful town, and there are all kinds of things to see, and all kinds of food to eat, and wonderful music. So enjoy all of those. I understand there's a legend about getting mugged here. Um, but let me tell you, this actually is a very safe city. It's really hard to get mugged here. Um, don't go to Alabama alone without somebody who knows what they're doing. But other than that, you'll be fine. Anyway, welcome. I hope you're enjoying yourself. So I'll start by thanking all the staff who've gotten everything organized, Ellie, Stephanie, and Rosa. So that's thank you. And thank you very much, guys. Jessica here. Everybody's on Zoom. I don't know how many of you got, with their mic on. So welcome, because it's really nice. We get everybody here, regardless of whether they're physically in New Orleans. And I wanted to acknowledge Mike Cates, this year's Parker Award winner, who will be up here in a little bit. So welcome, Mike. All right, I know I'm standing in between you and food, so I'll give you a brief update on where we are with the college, and then I'll get Ellie started releasing tables too. We're doing a buffet this year, so we'll turn you loose table by table. So first bit of good news, we maintained our ranking in US News and World Reports. So as always in the top 10, tied for number 6 again. And then depending on how you think about it, they say number 6. I like to think tied for number 4 because it's 3 of us there. But anyway, that's, me versus the editors of US News and World Reports. Probably the biggest news for the college is that we just got state approval for a new program offering. So starting in the fall of 2025, we will have a bachelor's degree in pharmaceutical sciences. That it's the first bachelor's degree the college has offered since we got rid of the practice bachelor's, so close to 40 years. This program is going to focus on training students for bio and health sciences data sciences, everything from acquisition, quality control, outcomes, everything in between there. Those students aimed at industry and health systems jobs for the most part. That's a huge growing sector. Second major focus will be training students for doing clinical trials management, which, believe it or not, at the bachelor's level is rapidly growing right now. And I think many of you are probably aware the PharmD jobs in that area are just exploding right now. So I think finally we're getting the recognition that we're really due for what we bring with that drug focus to the field of drug development and discovery. And so we're very excited about that. And then in the last section will be laboratory pharmaceutical sciences. So we're setting this up. Of course, we want some of these students to go into our PharmD program. And we're looking forward to having that feed, but we've built it so students can get really any job they would want straight out of school or be going into any advanced degree program in the area of medicine, dentistry, everything. So we're really excited about that. We hired a new pharmacy practice chair, Funmi Abraham, who's a community oriented person who works on gamification to help improve medication adherence. So we're really excited to have her on board. And you'll be seeing all kinds of fun things going on there, but especially even further push towards enhancing the community pharmacy efforts in the college. Sad to tell you that we not lost, but got retired this year, Ken Record, Bob Kuhn, Karen Blumenschein, and Joe Chappelle. So all moving on to emeritus status. I will mention Ken and Bob are participating in what seems to be a new tradition, which is they have retired, but they immediately return to the college and are continuing to do work for us in student activities and enrollment management for free. I love this as a dean. So Anybody in the area who's thinking about retiring, you can always have that kind of an option. You can come back to Lexington. In fact, I'll make space for you if you want to volunteer. And then we've been joined by three new faculty, Carolyn Geisler and Arub Maji in pharmaceutical sciences and Aaron Cook in PPS. This is, as many of you have come to this lecture now, we've been adding 3 to 4 faculty every year the last four or 5 years now. That's probably going to slow down sooner or later, but we welcome them and look forward to what they're going to do in the college. A few other highlights. We took first place at the ACCP Clinical Pharmacy Challenge this year. This is a personal passion of mine. So really proud of the students who did that, and I hope it will be one of many years. I love that every year that happens. And I want to make a shout out to Frank Romanelli, who won both the Chalmers Award and the Roke High Lectureship this year. I think both really well deserved for Frank, who's a real icon in pharmacy education. So very proud of Frank and very proud of a college that actually produces people who win those awards regularly. And all of you who come here through the residency program and our own pharmacy program. And at that point, I will be quiet and let Ellie start pushing people out to the buffet. We'll let you get your food, and then Devlin will come up and introduce. Thanks, everybody.
Good afternoon. Can you guys hear me okay? Perfect. I'm probably a little more loud than Kip. It's a hazard. Good morning, or good afternoon, I guess now. For those I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, I'm Devil McGrath, the new Senior Director of Acute Care Pharmacy Services at UK as of April 2024. I'm honored to present a brief update on UK's Department of Pharmacy Services and the substantial plans that we have for the future. Been fortunate to be a part of the UK Pharmacy Services team since 2018. I have really been amazed by the growth that we've undergone in those years. I was reading Dr. Nasman's speech from just a few years ago, and he had noted a drug budget of 200 million and 640 employees. And just 5 or 6 years later, we have an annual drug spend now of 600 million, so a tripling. And we are at over 1,200 employees in the department now, with substantial growth still planned. The university is seeing over 45,000 discharges and 1.4 million ambulatory visits per year right now, all of which are supported by our expansive pharmacy services team. And our patients in the community are supported by 10 UK retail sites, soon to be 13. We have 3 more opening in the spring that should be live by May of next year, as well as our UK specialty pharmacy services team, both of which support their transitions throughout the UK continuum of care. On the acute care services side, we've continued Paul Parker's tradition of excellence in clinical pharmacy via both our inpatient pharmacy services and our residency program. We are offering 39 residency program spots this year, and those are highlighted by a new grant-funded pediatric infectious diseases program, which is recruiting its first resident this year. The medication management needs of our inpatients are supported by both decentralized rounding pharmacists and central pharmacists in one of our many operational locations. And we continue to meet the complex needs of a very critical patient population as UK has maintained its reputation for subspecialty care throughout the state. UK healthcare is dedicated to the health of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and we are taking actionable steps to meet future needs through pharmacy services. Our ambulatory clinic expansion is occurring throughout the state, but will be highlighted by our Hamburg expansion site, where we purchased 41 acres last year to dedicate to specialty clinics such as oncology and orthopedic care. We also broke ground this April on a new cancer center and advanced ambulatory building, which will provide an additional 550,000 square feet to support Kentucky's only NCI-designated comprehensive cancer center, as well as ambulatory surgery and other outpatient services. As a hospital pharmacist myself, I'm extremely proud of our accomplishments and ambitions in the ambulatory space, but have unique appreciation for our plans for an additional inpatient care pavilion for UK Chandler Medical Center. This new pavilion will house 895 patient care beds and allow for us to transition out of the infrastructure of Good Samaritan Hospital, which is slightly aged, as well as Pavilion H. The impact and importance of pharmacy services is planned to be recognized by a new 22,000 square foot central pharmacy. So for those that aren't aware, our current central in Pav A that's just 10 or 12 years old is only 7,000 square feet. So that's a tripling of the space there, as well as another ICU satellite, another OR satellite in the cancer center, and then a 3,000 square foot pediatric central that will be based in the KCH portion of the new pavilion. So all in all, over triples the space that we currently have, which I know our team is very, very excited about. These expansion plans, alongside the purchase of King Sodders Medical Center in 2023 and St. Clair Healthcare in July of 2024, represent a rough $2 billion in investments in our healthcare infrastructure for UK healthcare. Paul would be proud to hear me report that pharmacy services continues to have a key seat at the table in these discussions as we talk about what the future of healthcare for Kentucky and what the future of pharmacy services in Kentucky looks like, and continue to innovate for the future. Next, I welcome Dr. Celia Bressler to lead the roll call. Thank you.
All right. Hi, everyone. If I haven't met you, I am Sully Bressler, and I'm our current chief resident. So we'll do roll call in the room, and there's going to be a mic passed around. And then we'll go to those online if you're online and wanting to join us in announcing who is with us today. So I'm Sully Bressler, and I'm R598, and I'm a PGY2 in emergency medicine.
Who wants to start? Roll call. Who wants to start?
Hi, I'm Sid Kaysen. I'm R619 and I'm a PGY2 in ambulatory care.
Hi, I'm Jen. I am R621 and I am a PGY2 in ambulatory care.
I'm Hunter. I'm R620, and I'm a PGY2 in infectious diseases.
I'm Nicole. I'm R623 and I'm PGY2 in infectious diseases.
I'm Cassie Sweeney. I'm R618 and I'm a PGY2 in ambulatory care.
Hi, I'm Sakura and I'm R622 and I'm the current PGY2 Peds resident.
My name is Tate. I'm R625. I'm one of the PGY1 acute care residents, early committed to crit care.
I am Ryan Rule. I am also one of the PGY1 acute care residents, R635, and I am staying on for another year for a PGY2 in oncology.
My name's Rachel. I'm R628. I'm one of the PGY1 residents at our UK Good Samaritan Hospital, and I have early committed to a PGY2 in ambulatory care.
Excuse me, sir.
Hi, I'm Tina Zhang. I am R638 and I am a PGY1 at UK Good Sam.
I'm Audrey. I'm also a PGY1 at Good Sam. I'm R624 and I've early committed to a PGY2 in oncology.
I'm Paul Gubbins. I'm R175. I'm Associate Dean at the UMKC School of Pharmacy Springfield site.
Hey everyone, Phil Empey, R257. I'm at the University of Pittsburgh, where I direct our Center for Clinical Pharmaceutical Sciences.
Hey everybody, I'm R258, Dave Fiola. I am at UK College of Pharmacy. I serve as the Director of Graduate Studies, so if anybody has a PharmD student or a resident or anybody who wants to get a research experience, let me know.
I'm Cliff Heineman. I was recruited by Paul Parker in 1967. I'm, after the residency at University of Maryland, I'm P11, pharmacist 11 on the staff. And I'm retired from the College of Pharmacy a lot of years.
Students. Okay. Yeah, I'm Eric Mack, and I'm a fourth year pharmacy student at the College of Pharmacy.
Logan, you good? Slogan. Just kidding.
I'll stand. My name is Elizabeth Autry. I am R411. I am the information, as I like to think at least. I am the pediatric pulmonary allergy and immunology pharmacist at Kentucky Children's Hospital, and this is my second year as RPD for the PGY2 in pediatrics.
I'll follow Elizabeth's lead and I guess stand too. My name is Zach Thompson. I'm R438. I'm a clinical pharmacy manager at Nationwide Children's Hospital.
I'm Alexa McCormick. I am R605 and I am a PGY2 pediatric resident.
Hi, I'm Madison Winstead. I am R610 and I'm a PGY2 emergency medicine resident.
Hi, I'm Christine Cruz. I'm R225 and was there from 1994 to 1996. So I'm the RPD for a PGY2 residency in clinical pharmacogenomics at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Memphis. Here recruiting for a really excellent experience as a PGY2.
I'm one of Chris's co-residents. My name is Deanna Kanya, and I have the easiest R number, 222. We're getting close to 666. Now, who is going to have that number? That's what I want to know. We might skip that one. I'm a clinical associate professor in the Department of Pharmacy Practice at Purdue, Boiler Up, and I am the PGY1 RPD at the VA Medical Center in downtown Indy. And I had several great UK students come by the showcase today. So if they're talking about this awesome residency in Indianapolis at the VA, tell them it's great. Definitely go there. So happy to be here today.
I'm Rachel Swope. I'm R390, and I'm Director of Clinical Pharmacy Services at Norton Healthcare in Louisville. And I'm also RPD for PGY1, and our showcase is at 1 o'clock if anyone wants to come by.
Hi, I'm Megan. I'm R636. I'm in our PGY1 AMP Care program, and I'm staying on for PGY2 in oncology.
I'm Emily. I'm R633. I'm a current PGY1 in acute care, and then I'm early committed to critical care next year.
Who wants?
Hi, I'm Elise Metz. I am the Emergency Medicine PGY2 Director. I notoriously change my R number every year to the one I want, which was 415, but I am R416.
Hi, I'm Erin Zaholski, formerly Erin Hickey. I'm R482. I'm an assistant professor at Virginia Commonwealth University School of Pharmacy with a practice site in gynecologic oncology at our health system.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kyle Zaholski. I'm R488. And yes, we met in residency and got married. I'm a current inpatient hematology pharmacist at VCU Health System and the PGY2 Oncology Program Director.
My name is Scott Wilkie. I'm R395. I was Rachel's co-resident a few years ago. I am currently the RPD for the acute care residency program at Mission Health in Asheville, North Carolina.
Hi, my name is Madeline Fisher. I am R627, and I am one of the first-year HSPAL residents.
Hi, my name is Ann Margaret. I'm a R629 PGY1 acute care resident staying on for critical care.
Hi, I'm Maddie, R632. I'm one of our acute care PGY1s, and I'm staying on for a second year in emergency medicine.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dina Ali. I'm R464, and I am the PGY1 RPD at UK.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Katie Ruff, R369, and I'm one of the directors at UK Healthcare.
I'm Samantha Bohenick. I'm R431. I'm the director of our specialty infusion services and the RPD to our community-based program at our specialty pharmacy, as well as our specialty pharmacy administration and leadership residency.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amelia Lee. I am R631, and I am the PGY1 in specialty pharmacy.
Hi, my name is Addison Dumas. I am R626, and I am the SPAL resident, PGY1.
Hello, everyone. I'm R476. My name is Taylor. I am our current PGY2 internal medicine RPD.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adam Roskam. I am R634. I'm a PGY1 acute care resident, and I am staying on for cardiology next year.
Hey, everyone. I'm Blake Woodward, R637, and I'm staying on PGY1 acute care resident, and I'm staying on for infectious diseases.
Hi, everyone. My name is Allie Wiegand. I'm R545. I am a trauma and emergency general surgery pharmacist, and this is my first year as assistant program director for the PGY1 program.
And I'm Blake Robbins, Allie's co-resident, R542. I'm an emergency medicine pharmacist and also my first year as assistant program director with Allie for the PGY1 program.
Hi, my name's Jana Hostetler. I'm R601, and I'm a PGY2 in critical care.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm R602, and I'm the current internal medicine PGY2.
I'm James Isaacs, R630, and I'm one of the PGY1 HSPL residents.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Joe DePiro from Virginia Commonwealth University, R93.
Hi, I'm Nani, PGY1 RPD at Kid Vista Medical Center.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Altmans. I am not Kentucky alum, but I'm Kentucky licensed. I'm also the pharmacy director at Canaan Vista Medical Center, and we're colleagues of Dr. Katz.
Similarly, I do not have an R number. I'm not sure if I should be talking right now, but my name is Chris Edwards. I am a clinical associate professor at the University of Arizona and an emergency medicine clinical pharmacist.
Yeah, we're really awkward about not telling people what to do about this. So.
Hey, everybody, I'm Mike Cates. I'm R75, and I guess you'll be hearing from me in a moment. So more to come.
Did anyone online want to join in and tell us who's here and who's present? I know some of our residents are online as well, our current residents.
Hi, everyone. This is Christina Caesar. I'm R599 and I'm a current PGY2 in critical care.
Hi, everyone. This is Joanna. I'm R606, current PGY2 in critical care.
My name's Peyton Atkins. I'm R597. I'm one of the PGY2 HEMOG residents, and my co-resident, who's also named Peyton Simpson, is not here because she is post-call, but she is R609.
I'm Sarah Parley. I'm R385. Just doing a little virtual Paul Parker lunch at the hospital with the residents that have been holding it down while you all are celebrating in person.
I'm Bob Kuhn. I'm HR3 and faculty, part-time faculty at UK College of Pharmacy.
Hello, I'm Rusty May. I'm R98, clinical professor at University of Georgia College of Pharmacy. We're on the lookout for 2 clinical track faculty members, one in Augusta and one in Athens. So shoot me an email if you're interested. And we have some folks there at Midyear too.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ken Record. I am emeritus faculty, R63, P41, and I'm in Lexington, Kentucky.
I'm Bill Bird. I'm practicing retired pharmacy career in Lexington, Kentucky, R69.
I'll jump in. I'm Henry Mann. I'm R89, and I'm a professor at Ohio State University, where I just completed 10 years as the dean.
I'll jump in. This is Paul Parker zooming in from heaven. Actually, this is Don Latender, R76. I hope you can hear me.
Hi, everyone. Dan Canifax. I'm R55 and currently Chief Medical Officer at XW Pharma. Great to see everyone.
And I'm Aaron Cook. I am R275, currently Associate Professor at the UK College of Pharmacy.
From online, I feel like I saw a bunch of people that did speak. All right. Can the people online hear me okay? I'm a little shorter than the others that were up here. All right, so I actually have the honor and privilege to introduce this year's recipient of the Paul F. Parker Award, a truly remarkable individual whose career epitomizes leadership, mentorship, and unwavering commitment to excellence in pharmacy, Dr. Michael D. Katz. Dr. Katz currently serves as a clinical professor and director of residency and international programs at the R. Kent Coit University of Arizona College of Pharmacy, a proud alumnus of the University of Kentucky, where he earned his Doctor of Pharmacy degree. Dr. Katz completed his residency at the University of Kentucky Medical Center in 1979 as R75. Today, he leads the PGY2 Internal Medicine Residency Program at the University of Arizona College of Pharmacy in partnership with Banner University Medical Center in Tucson. Dr. Katz's extraordinary career spans over 4 decades and is a shining example of the ideals championed by Dr. Paul F. Parker. His impact resonates not just within the United States, but across the globe. One of his nominators, Dr. Donald Latender, captured the essence of Dr. Katz's contribution, stating, Dr. Katz epitomizes the type of practitioner the early UK program aspired to produce. He has devoted his life to inspiring and training the next generation of pharmacy leaders while upholding the highest standards of clinical care. His leadership, selfless dedication, and international impact embody the vision of Paul F. Parker. Dr. Katz' journey is one of profound dedication and innovation. Early in his career, his work with the Indian Health Service fostered a deep commitment to advancing healthcare for underserved communities, a passion that continues to define his legacy. Since joining the University of Arizona, Dr. Katz has been a cornerstone of clinical education and internal medicine practice, earning multiple Teacher of the Year honors along the way. Dr. George Francisco, a longtime colleague and friend, said it best. Mike has always been ahead of his time. His unyielding commitment to staying at the forefront of medical advancements and his dedication to training the next generation of practitioners has truly set him apart. He carries the very spirit of clinical innovation and excellence that Dr. Parker championed. Beyond his work in Arizona, Dr. Katz has made remarkable contributions to global pharmacy education. As co-chair of the U.S.-Thai Pharmacy Consortium and a commissioner within the ACPE International Commission, he has forged meaningful international partnerships, particularly in Thailand, Saudi Arabia, and Japan. Through these initiatives, Dr. Katz has helped shape a globally inclusive vision for the pharmacy profession, a vision that aligns with Dr. Parker's legacy. Closer to home, Dr. Katz has spent nearly 30 years in Pima County HIV Medication Committee, advocating for patients and improving access to care. He has also served as the president of the Arizona Society of Health System Pharmacists and received numerous accolades, including the Eli Schlossberg Award for exemplary service and induction into the Phi Lambda Sigma Leadership Fraternity. Dr. Katz's contributions, whether as an educator, practitioner, leader, or advocate, embody the essence of what this award represents. His work has touched countless of lives and inspired future generations of pharmacy professionals. Everyone, please join me in celebrating the extraordinary achievements of this year's Paul F. Parker Award recipient, Dr. Michael D. Katz.
Thank you for that amazing introduction. I'm not entirely sure who she was talking about, but anyway, and that's all the time we have for. So, but thank you again, and it really is truly an honor. I know everybody every year gets up and says this is an honor and really humbling, but for those of you who know me, know that I'm not really big on self-promotion and those. So this is honestly somewhat embarrassing to be here. But I'll try to make the best of it. Those of you on Zoom, and the only person I see on the screen here from Zoom is Aaron. So hi, Aaron. How you doing? For those of you who are my friends and colleagues, thanks for being here in the room. All my co-residents who are there on Zoom, thanks so much for taking the time since you couldn't be here in New Orleans for joining me. Some of you may have seen this here, and those of you who are connected with the UK program know what this is. Those of you who are not connected, I'll give a brief explanation. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, I do know some of you have residency showcases to go to at 1. So if you need to take off, being a faculty member, I'm used to people walking out on me in class. So at least those who show up to class. But seriously, if you do need to take off, please feel free. But I'm not sure what the suppository looks like in 2020 and the 2020s, but this is the 1979 version, and maybe a lot irreverently, this is what we get at least what we got when we finished the residency, and you can fill in the blanks why it's a suppository. I won't go into that, but anyway, this, for those of us who graduated from the UK program, this has an honored place in our house, our office. So anyway, yes, this is 45 years old. Anyway, let's see if we can make the slides work. So, giving a therapeutics lecture, talking about pharmacy education, that for me, that's easy. When Jose Rivera, who was last year's recipient, called me and told me I was the recipient this year, first I thought he was joking, but he finally convinced me he was serious. But I really had to stop and think, okay, what am I going to say to all these amazing people? And I don't consider myself to be particularly wise or have anything all that great to say, but hopefully this will be fun. Actually, I have a couple of questions for you guys. So obviously I got a feel from the roll call what kind of demographic we have. How many of you are current students? So a lot of you are students. Well, good luck with finding residencies and all that. How many of you are between R400 and 600 and something? So, and the rest of us are really old and probably can't get our hands raised. So I want to ask you, and the reason why I asked that is because, you know, what I thought I would do is to give maybe a little bit of insight and at least my experiences both at UK and beyond. And maybe those of you who are fairly young practitioners, maybe you'll gain something from that. But you know, 45 years later, which is how many years ago I left UK, some of you will be standing here 45 years from now and maybe we'll be saying similar things. Again, you know, this is all about Paul and, you know, those of us in the era of myself, Joe DePiro, who's here, and you know, many of you, Henry Mann, Rusty May, others who are online. You know, in retrospect, we were very fortunate to have worked with Paul. We may not have realized that at the time. As some of you who are current residents probably don't realize how fortunate you are to work with your current RPDs. But you know, so part of what I'll talk about is, you know, really reflecting on that legacy that Paul had, but that then reflects on those of us who had the good fortune to work with them. I want to recognize my co-residents, and you know, we somewhat facetiously, but actually seriously call ourselves the best class ever. And some of you here may argue with that, and it's too bad if you don't believe me, because we are right. And again, so some of the people you see listed here are online. Bill Bird, Don Latender. I thought I saw Kurt's name, although he didn't announce himself. So anyway, thanks for those of you who are online. But I felt really fortunate to be part of our residency class, and I'll talk more about them in a moment. And I'm the fourth recipient from the class of '79 to get this award. Now, I would like to say they saved the best for last, but that honestly, and I may not be the last, but you know, I certainly want to recognize Don, George, and Jose, who are previous recipients. So I think that reflects how strong we were as a class. Now, in case you're wondering, there was photography in 1979 or 1978, and there was even color photography in 1978. So I circled the members of my residency class, and I actually show this photo to my current residents every year in our teaching certificate program and ask them to pick out who is me. Not a single time have they been able to do that yet. Now, I'm the one circled in green, so the third from the left in the back row. Interestingly, I wore that same striped shirt 2 years in a row for the photo, and obviously I had no fashion sense whatsoever then, and maybe it's gotten a little bit better. But anyway, actually Ray Wolf, who's R51, was in our class, is missing from this photo, and I'm not sure. He may have been on what we call an extramural rotation, sort of a remote rotation, but Ray's not in the photo, but you can see. But you know, certainly my other co-residents of that cohort or that generation are seen here, and here we go. So as I mentioned, you know, we have stayed pretty close as a residency class, and we actually had a reunion of our residency class just this September in Lexington, and so these are some photos from that experience, and I think you'll all agree we really haven't changed much. Pretty much look the same. There may be a few people who don't have as much hair, maybe, and I'm not going to name names, but anyway, I think that really reflects the bond we had 45 years later. You know, we're still close. We still got together, and Dean Guy, I want to thank you and the others from UK for hosting us and showing us the classic Kentucky hospitality. So thank you for that. Yeah, we were young then, and I'm basically going to show you a lot of random photos and you know, maybe talk about them. But again, you know, we maybe haven't changed so much, but you know, we see here Don Latender, Ray Wolf, Jose Rivera, Bill Bird, back in our younger days as residents. You know, we since we didn't have a lot of money, and I'll talk about that more in just a moment, you know, we spent a lot of time with each other. We worked a lot with each other, but also it had lots of fun. We look pretty happy there, I think. Not entirely sure. Well, actually, I know what Ralph Sellers was doing, and I'm not going to go any further with that. And those of you who know Ralph can fill in that blank. This is actually, so this is when we became adults. So this was, I think, around 1990 or something like that. So we actually cleaned up pretty well. I think this may have been in a mid-year in 1990. So the first thing I want to talk about, and I've already kind of alluded to this, is relationships. And I think for, again, those of you who are young practitioners, students, or residents, or recent grads, I think you already know that relationships are really important. And you've probably heard from many that, you know, pharmacy is a small world and it's all about networking and who you know, and that really, really is true. I mean, I certainly tell my own residents that the relationships you have or had with your co-residents are really some of the most important relationships you're going to have in your entire life. So develop them, nurture them, maintain them. Whole lot easier now with social media than it was in my day before they invented email and all that kind of stuff. But obviously your co-residents are your support system through a difficult, challenging time. And again, they should become your lifelong colleagues and friends. And the analogy I use is that we really were a band of brothers and sisters. Now, my class was all males, and why Paul chose only men for our class, I can't say, but when you go through a stressful, difficult, challenging time, it really does create those bonds and really does become really part of your family. Now, I'm from Boston originally, and you know, why Paul recruited a guy from Boston, and Don Latender and I were actually classmates at Massachusetts College of Pharmacy, and we actually didn't know we were going to be at UK until we showed up on day one for orientation. So that was kind of interesting. But you know, Boston was not exactly the bastion of progressive pharmacy in those days, and but you know, and one of the points I want to make is that, you know, mentorship, being mentored, being a mentor is really, really important. And I was really lucky at Mass College of Pharmacy. Again, this is a bachelor's program, a 5-year bachelor's, that I had really 2 mentors that really, you know, sort of opened my eyes and pushed me to go beyond what I thought I would do. One is Russ Miller. I could not for the life of me find a photo of Russ Miller online. Some of you may know him. He's the brother of Bill Miller, who probably some of you do know. He was also a part-time faculty member at MCP. And then Rick Scheif, who's in the bottom right. I was fortunate to my one rotation as a bachelor's student to be assigned to what was called New England Medical Center in those days, which is now part of Tufts. Rick was probably the only clinical pharmacist in the entire New England area. He was my preceptor and really opened my eyes to what a pharmacist could really do. Again, this is 1978. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 1975, 1976. So I, you know, have tremendous gratitude for them to pushing me beyond what I thought I would do. So relationships are very, very important. Legacy, and really what I want to talk about more, not my own, but Paul's legacy. And again, during our reunion in September, we got a chance to tour around the hospital a little bit, and both some of the older parts, like where we had resident meetings, and also the resident office. And of course, they have this photo of Paul and some information about the Paul Parker Award. And then in the College of Pharmacy, there's kind of a timeline history. And again, I just took a photo of this era in the 1970s. And in the resident office, again, showing the impact that the UK program has. This is where all the residents have gone. And the only complaint I had is my R number 75 is there, and it's in the wrong place in Arizona. So someone's geographic knowledge of the Western US maybe is a little suspect, but at least it was in the right state. But I mean, it's not only about numbers, obviously, but just, you know, hearing the roll call, you know, really shows you what impact all of you are having, whether you're still a resident, whether you're a recent or long-term graduate. You know, Paul came as a package with his wife, Addie Catherine, and you know, they created this really family-like atmosphere. I've tried to replicate it a little bit at Arizona, and it really failed. And I'm not sure what it is about Kentucky or Paul's legacy to create that family-like atmosphere, but you know, Addie Catherine sort of became our mom and cooked food for us and helped take care of us. And Paul, even though he gave us a hard time occasionally. We knew that he loved us and that he really supported us. And again, this is kind of ancient history for many of you, but Paul received the Harvey A.K. Whitney Award from ASHP 1967. Now, this is not a lecture, so I'm not going to read this stuff to you, but if you look at what he talked about in his award address, again, this is 1967, that we should, pharmacy should take total responsibility for drug therapy, that we should be socially responsible for our patients. We should be an integral part of the healthcare team. Now, today in 2024, you're saying, yeah, okay, tell me something new. 1967, this was revolutionary to have these concepts. So again, Paul was really one of those pioneers that really stimulated people to think that, yeah, as a profession, we can actually do more. Now, what I think Paul's goals for us were as residents, one of the things he always said, because we whined a lot about working hard, and just like you guys who are residents whine about working hard, that when we're saying we're surviving, his answer was Kentucky residents don't survive, they thrive. He wanted us to be agents of change, to go out and do great things. Now, his vision was actually for all of us to become pharmacy school deans. And his vision actually kind of worked out. And if you go back to that old photo, I mean, we have Joe DePiero here in the room, who's been a dean at 8 or 10 different pharmacy schools, I think. But Henry Mann, who's online, and Bob Lewin, who was at dean at UNC for many years. Point being is that that vision really did come true. One of the things that Paul taught us, and this is on our Friday meetings that you'll see a photo of in just a moment, and when we were working hard and going home from work every day, and maybe being unhappy about something, to ask ourselves, or walking out the door, what did I do today to improve patient care? And to sort of remind ourselves why we were there. And even if you're in the IV room sticking needles in IV bags, and yes, we did have IV bags and needles in those days, that we actually did make a difference. Now, I think his ultimate goal was probably not to cause him any grief. And I'm pretty sure we failed at that, and probably we did cause him some trouble and grief. I can give you one really quick anecdote. I think I was on internal medicine rotation as a resident, and I had made some recommendation about some antibiotic change, and the head of ID didn't like that, and he actually went to Paul and asked that I get fired. Some of my co-residents may remember that. To Paul's credit, luckily the recommendation must have been good. I have no idea what it was. I don't remember. But again, Paul was protective of us and basically said this is all about helping patients, and so maybe that caused him a little bit of grief, but it kind of worked out. So I mean, I think his legacy is, as I said before, really transforming our profession. Some of you may not know, the UK had the first unit dose drug distribution system anywhere in the world, the first drug information center. And all those are really cool, important things. But I think really his legacy is about all of us. It's about the people. Certainly the early residents, the single and double digiters, but even since Paul has passed away, that legacy is really carried forward. And I think we all, whether we work with Paul or not, we carry that piece of us in him. And again, hopefully those of you who are younger will continue to carry that legacy. I've already mentioned mentorship, and again, at Kentucky in those days, we were really lucky to have people like Tom Foster, Ann Emerson, I was going to say unrecognizable, but that wasn't the right word. Can't be replicated, Bob Rapp. Kurt Johnson on the left, John Pecoro on the right. Unfortunately, several of these people have already passed away. So part of my advice, especially to those of you who are younger practitioners, seek mentoring. Being mentored is really great, and having mentors is really, really great. But also be a mentor. If you're a resident, if you're a PGY2, you've got PGY1s you can mentor. If you're a PGY1 or PGY2, you've got students you can mentor. If you're a young practitioner, there's lots of people that you can help achieve really, really great things. A little bit about leadership. So at the opening session, those of you attended, they talked about Sarah White, and Sarah was and is one of my heroes. And she actually visited our program a few years ago, and she was very, very important in really teaching us more about leadership, and particularly getting women more involved with leadership. And so I, with her permission, swiped the slide from her, and she basically talks about the difference between big L and little L leadership. And part of my message, again, to those of you who are younger practitioners or current students or residents, is that if you aspire to having a title, dean, department head, clinical coordinator, director of pharmacy, that's great. We need people like that. But her idea, which I agree with, is everybody needs to be a leader in some form or fashion, the so-called little L leader. And at least to me, the people, especially in a clinical setting, the people that have the most impact are actually not the ones who have titles, and sorry to those of you who have titles, but it's the people who have the integrity, the credibility, the voice to actually make a difference, whether it's in patient care or in other areas. So all of you can beat that person as well. Now, definitely when we joined the Kentucky program, we knew that Paul and the preceptors had really high expectations of us, and kind of like with a parent, we didn't want to disappoint them. One of the things that, I've talked to some of my co-residents recently about this, and, we really thought back to how much responsibility we were given, things we would never do today. And, it's in retrospect a little bit scary, some of the things we were responsible for. We had in-house call, which UK still has. But, we residents staff what was called the 3 shift or the night shift, 1 pharmacist, 500 or 600 bed hospital, 1 pharmacist, 1 technician. If we had a good tech, if you were golden, we had no idea what we were doing. And if you had a tech who was a little bit shaky, it was, if you had to go on a code, there's no pharmacist in the pharmacy. So, I mean, that was tremendous amount of responsibility. I think we did okay. Obviously, the clinical responsibilities were tremendous. And again, those of me in that era know that we were doing a double-blind control trial with phenytoin to treat post-traumatic epilepsy. And we as residents were the ones who were randomizing patients, going to the ER, going to the operating room and pushing either phenytoin or placebo. And man, I had all kinds of experiences going to the OR while someone's brain was being operated on, pushing phenytoin and hoping their blood pressure wouldn't drop, and all of that kind of stuff. And, tremendous amount of responsibility. The bottom line of that is it really prepared us to do pretty much anything, both during residency and after. And if I, look back at the things I've done in my career at University of Arizona, from a clinical standpoint, I mean, you look at that list and it's, there's kind of random stuff, whether it's internal medicine. I ran our nutritional support service for a while, developed a nutritional support PGY2 residency. I worked with the first artificial heart program in our hospital. Point being is that UK prepared me to take on those responsibilities and figure out how to really make it work. So one of the things that Paul did in those times is challenged us, and we had Friday resident meetings, and we were eager to get them done because then we could go out and drink beer, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. But he really challenged us to think about professional issues. And again, this is when the All PharmD program was under discussion, and we had lots of discussions about, is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And it really challenged us to really think. And yeah, that's me here. And you see all my fellow residents around the table, and I have no idea what we were talking about at that particular meeting, but really challenged us. So again, I would encourage all of you, especially preceptors and RPDs. Yeah, I mean, clinical stuff's important, patient care is important, but challenge your residents to really think about professional issues and things that they're going to have an impact on after they finish their training. Now, one of the best things about my job over the last 45 years is working with residents and students. Sorry, this touchpad is really sensitive. The top left photo, these are the current residents that I work with in a bunch of different programs. Many of the residents I work with are all over the state of Arizona, so we see them on Zoom, so I don't have physical photos for them, but we have residency showcases, and these are all students. So point being is that, as current residents, as students, as young practitioners, again, pay it forward, get involved with residency training, become a preceptor, become an RPD, and make that difference. We absolutely worked hard at UK, and I know all of you who are residents work hard. Now, there were no duty hour restrictions back then, and I I don't know if Joe remembers how many hours a week we worked, but it was, I mean, it was, working a night shift, then going on rounds the next morning, doing your clinical responsibilities. I mean, easily, had 24, 36 hours straight work. So that 80-hour a week work hour restriction you guys are under, forget that. But honestly, we didn't care because we knew we were making a difference. And yeah, we got tired and cranky and probably complained, but we also played and that adage, work hard, play hard. But my advice is, yeah, play. I mean, do things outside of work, and that whole work-life balance that we lie to, no, we don't lie about it, but some of us do it better than others. But whatever makes you happy, whatever keeps you sane, whatever keeps you grounded, make sure you take time to do those things. Now, we came to work every day. This is what we saw. This is the old hospital. And the sculpture that's on the left was in front of the hospital, and we called it, and I'm going to be a little euphemistic, fornicating boomerangs. Why that sculpture was there, I don't remember. Some of the oldsters may remember that. I have no idea, but we were somewhat irreverent, so you can kind of fill in the blanks of what words we may have used. But anyway, that's what the old hospital looked like. The old hospital is still there, and so it doesn't look a whole lot different. But the new hospital is kind of in front of that. Now, one of the interesting things is that we had the first hospital pharmacy computer system, I think, in the world. That's what it looks like, and that's Denny Briley, who, I don't know if he invented it or what his role was, but he was kind of the master of the system. And looking at this photo again made me think of, some of you have probably seen the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, and it made me think about that line, "Open the pod bay doors, Hal," that you see on the right as far as what Denny may have been doing. But it was interesting to work with that system. It tended to crash a lot, which was interesting as well. But that was one of the challenges we had, especially working the night shift. And again, if you had a technician who knew how the system worked, it was great. If you didn't, it was interesting. Now, we worked hard, which meant we kind of got tired. And so sleep was kind of at a premium. And we kind of, and I have no recollection of why or how or who took this photo. Yeah, this is me. And different striped shirt. I guess I was in a striped shirts then. In the grass, I guess it was somewhere outside the hospital. I have no idea, but sleep was definitely something you had to, really covet because we didn't get a whole lot of it. But again, we also played hard, and some of you are going to be shocked, but the highest salary we got as residents was $5,500 a year. So about, 1/10 of what you guys make now. Now, the cost of living was certainly lower in 1970s than it is now, but nonetheless, we didn't have a lot of money. So beer was kind of the cheapest thing that we could get our hands on. And our favorite bar was called 803 South, which is 803 South Broadway, which unfortunately is a gas station now. And I couldn't actually find a photo online of it, but I thought this was at least a photo from that era. And so again, we did have parties, we got together and maybe had a beer or two and tried to kick back a little bit. One of the highlights, and I know Ken, you're online, was Ken Record, who was our co-resident at the time, played in a bluegrass band. In those days, it was called Stony Creek, and one of our parties, maybe one of our best memories during that time as residents, was Ken's band playing there. And Ken is still playing in a bluegrass band. I think his co-musicians have changed over the years, but Ken is still playing the mandolin and still playing bluegrass music. So Ken, thanks for playing at our reunion. As was mentioned in the introduction, I am involved with lots of international stuff. So just a couple of words about that. And actually, Don Latender made me kind of think about this. Maybe the seed for my involvement with international activities actually really came from Paul. And I had sort of forgotten that we had a couple of residents in our program who were from other countries. Amelia Dozie on the left was from Australia. Jose Rivera on the right from Puerto Rico, which you could argue is not international, but but then on the bottom you see Don and Ray Wolf, but the guy on the right is Dean Martin, not the singer actor Dean Martin, but he was kind of a visiting pharmacist from Australia. So Paul again had that vision that getting involved with other countries maybe is something we should do, and started bringing people from other countries to the program. My first international activity was actually, this is in the 1980s, was in the Dominican Republic. And I actually brought a student. This is a pharmacy student who I brought to the Dominican Republic. It was actually a program through Creighton University to staff healthcare clinics in very rural areas. So this building was the clinic. This is a village that had no running water, no electricity. You can only get there either on foot or horseback. There were no roads. And so this was, I think in retrospect, impactful for me to actually be involved in working with people from a different country. It was right on the border of Haiti. So a lot of our patients actually crossed the border from Haiti and came to our clinic. Got to hang out with lots of kids in the village, and they were really fun to work with. Now, my international activities actually sort of happened serendipitously. Around the year 2000, my then dean and department head said to me, "Hey, let's develop international rotations for our students." And being kind of dumb, I said, "Okay." And yeah, that was totally, and then that happened because I had been invited to go to Japan. And I started going back to Japan, so I sort of got this reputation as being an international guy. So again, it was somewhat serendipitous, but I decided to take advantage of that opportunity. And there was some risk involved, particularly some of the activities I was doing with Saudi Arabia as far as developing contracts and maybe a somewhat unstable part of the world. But again, it kind of worked out. And the top left photo was actually my first visit to Japan in the year 2000. And then just, some other random photos, including some of the students that I take to Japan. The middle top photo is actually a class. I have a visiting professor appointment at a Japanese university, and they invited me a couple of years ago now to teach a class. And didn't tell me until about a week before I showed up that I was going to have 425 students in the class. And I was not prepared for that. So, but and again, teaching in English was somewhat challenging. And one of the things I've done internationally is I've created a study abroad program for our PharmD students, and we alternate between Japan and Thailand. So you can just see some photos of my students and the Japanese students hanging out together in Japan and in Thailand. I mentioned the Saudi Arabia program. So we developed this program in 2009. It was basically to train mostly junior faculty, but also clinical pharmacists from Saudi Arabia, provide them residency training, and then basically go back and largely populate their pharmacy schools with highly trained clinical faculty. The contract is no longer in existence, but we, over the 10 or 12 years of the contract, we trained 75 Saudi pharmacists. Maybe about half of them completed at least PGY1, some completed both PGY1 and PGY2 residency. And now those are people who are pharmacy school deans, department heads, vice deans, top clinicians in the country. So again, the point being is that if you get involved internationally, you can actually help change pharmacy practice and education in entire countries. And certainly we've done that in Thailand. And again, UK is part of this US-Thai pharmacy consortium. This consortium has been in operation for 30 years, and it really has transformed pharmacy practice and education. It's not just about me. It's not about Arizona or Kentucky per se. There's 13 other schools in addition to Arizona and Kentucky involved with this consortium, but it's literally transformed pharmacy practice and education in that country. And we're now expanding this consortium to include the other 9 Southeast Asian countries and created a new US-ASEAN consortium. We met in Bangkok this June. You can see Dean Guy here. My international counterpart, Melody Ryan from UK, have been deeply involved with this process. And as part of our relationship with the consortium, we've had residents from Thailand graduate from our program. So all these people here are actually my former residents who are now either vice deans or high-level clinical faculty in various Thai pharmacy schools. I think it was mentioned in the introduction that I'm part of the International Services Program. With ACPE, we do accreditation for international programs, and UK is very well represented here. You got me, Joe DePiro, and Don Latender. Don has been the chair of the commission for this year. So we're well represented in basically expanding the footprint of ACP accreditation to other countries. Be involved with your community. Now, however you define community, and you can define that however you want, but get out of the four walls of your hospital or clinic. And whether it's being involved as a pharmacist, whether it's being involved with others. The example I see in the photos is the COVID mass vaccination operation. I know many of you were involved with that as well in your own community, but our university had a mass vaccination program which operated for 6 months. I staffed the program for those 6 months, 3 days a week. And it was mostly a drive-through program. So yeah, I'm sticking needles in people's arms in their cars and working. This was then a nursing student who was kind of my partner in crime. And we vaccinated about 250,000 people during that 6 months. One quick word, and I actually just recently thought about this. Pharmacy is really big on credentials. You know, we get PharmDs, we do residencies, we do fellowships, we get board certification, and all those things are great. But I think sometimes we forget that there's other things that are really important, and those things are character and integrity. And I think going back to that little L leadership thing that I talked about from Sarah, I think the people who are most impactful, yeah, they have great educations, they have credentials, great training, but I think what makes them impactful is their character and their integrity. So again, my advice to those of you who are young is, yeah, get the credentials, get the training, but be a good person. Take care of your students, take care of your residents, take care of your patients, and be that person that others look up to and say, I want to be like them. So in closing, want to thank my family, of course. I have one son. He does not actually have antlers. And 2 grandkids. This is from last Christmas. This was actually just a few weeks ago, Thanksgiving. So obviously I could not do anything without my family. And again, in summary, these are some of the maybe take-home points. And will there be a quiz after? I'm not sure, but anyway, maybe a poll everywhere thing. I don't know, but anyway, hopefully this has been at least maybe interesting. Maybe you've seen some nice pictures anyway. But obviously, I mean, I'm tremendously grateful to UK for giving me the training and education, but also the relationships that have been so important to me, my mentors, and I work with great colleagues at Arizona. I've been there 45 years, and whether it's Chris Edwards, who's here, my colleagues from Canyon Vista Medical Center, Dave Cavance, who was at Cleveland Clinic for another place for many years. I mean, I've had the best professional colleagues really from around the world. But also I want to thank my students and residents because we learn so much from you. And working with students and residents has really made me a better person. So thank you for your attention. And again, I appreciate all this recognition. So thank you very much. Thank you.